Hey folks, so today we'll be learning how to add a custom app to Composio. I'm logged into my Composio account, as you can all see. The login is very simple. You just need to do a email magic link login. After that, you will come to this page where you can see all the apps that Composio already supports. So as part of this video, we'll just learn how to add an authentication scheme. The action comes later, but right now just authentication scheme for like a new app in Composio. So yep, like here is a sample that I've already created. This repository will be shared with you where you all will be adding the apps. The idea is the format of this file. As you can see, this is like for each app, you need to create a directory in this. For example, I've created Notion, and inside Notion, there's a Notion integration.yaml. So if you want to create Slack for that matter, there will be a Slack folder. Inside that, there will be integration.yaml specific to Slack. Name is the name of the app, which should match ideally this name. Like the case can be different, ideally like the camel case. Then the description about the tool. In case of Notion, it's modern project management tool designed for efficiency and performance. Logo of the tool, if you can get it. Categories, like project management, productivity. This is, you can add anything for now. We will specify it later. And now there are multiple auth schemes that a particular tool support to get connected with their APIs, right? So you need to name the auth scheme. So in case of Notion, there is like one auth scheme is like Notion under like OAuth, which we have named as Notion underscore auth, and there's one API key auth mode, which we have named as Notion API key. So the name can be anything. It just needs to be kind of different for each auth scheme. And then the interesting part is the details around the auth scheme, the authorization URL, token URL, and all that stuff, which in most cases you can copy paste directly from providers.yaml. And the idea is, let's see, auth underscore mode, similar authorization URL, token URL, default scopes, all these things are very, very similar. So you can just copy paste. The authorization params are also here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think it's all very similar. Some of them here might not be present here, or some of them here might not be here, but you need to essentially like copy paste the whole thing. In most cases, for example, friendly it will be categories you can keep here, but the other thing, auth mode, authorization, URL, proxy, everything should come here. Docs you don't need for now, so that's all good. Docs you shouldn't paste because that has Nango in it, so you shouldn't copy paste it here. Apart from that, you just need to kind of specify the fields that you are using here. So for example, base URL is something that you are using here. You need to define like this is how we define a variable. This is our template. In case of Nango, I think the template is $bracket. So yeah, for example, API key is variable, password is a variable. So all that you need to specify in the field, whatever is the variable. You need to specify the name. You need to keep these two names same. Whatever you're using in the variable should be the same in the field. Then display name and then description. Display name is generally what the user will see when they want to enter it. Description is what the kind of variable is, essentially its type and the default value of the variable. In case of base URL, it's kind of mandatory to specify the base URL, the default base URL, which is the API link. So in case of Notion, it's api.notion.app. So all the APIs essentially are like / this. You'll get them mostly in the API reference. You'll get them here as well, the default ones. For example, this one is like api.calendly.com. In case of Notion, it will be api.notion.com, which is the same over here, default. So yeah, that's the idea. It should be simple. Once you do that, you need to push things to this custom auth integrations branch. Now, what I'll do is I'll just need to add the repo URL in here, which let me just quickly check. It's custom. Yeah, this is the repo URL. I'll just add it here. Save. You can just add one repo URL. You can add as many custom apps as you want there. Just hit refresh. And now let's, like, app has been refreshed. Now let's go to the apps. You can see Notion here, and you can now add connector. So I'll like firstly try to add a linear connector just to kind of show you the whole flow for linear, and then you can try it out for all the other apps that you add. So adding a connector, you first need to specify the auth scheme. So like API key, there's nothing much fun to do there. So I won't add like API key based connector. Let's add a OAuth based connector. So let me go to adding a linear OAuth. Let me find where it is. I think I already added it somewhere. Yeah, I think you need to go to this page and create a new application. I'll just show you. It's in the, it's in the API. You need to create a new auth application, give it whatever name. The idea is you can name it that matter. Let's say you name it try Composio app. Developer name, you can keep anything. No, I'll keep Samparking. Website, you can put composio.dev. Description is, I'm just gonna cut paste. Callback URL, I had it pasted somewhere, so I'll just reuse it. I think, all right, okay, this was the one. The idea is, you'll get all this data, by the way. Karthik will share this all with you. You need to replace Notion with linear, whatever your app name was that you're using. So if you're doing it for Notion, you'll put Notion here. If you're doing it for linear, you'll put linear here. I'm doing it for linear right now, so I'll do that. Let's make it public. Who cares? Create the app. It's live. You have the client ID, client secret. Use the client ID, client secret, paste it here. Base URL, you can keep it empty because you have defined the default one, so it should work ideally, and that's something you can test. Done. You have added a linear connector. Now let's add a connection to test it end to end. Grant access. You need a linear account to give connection, by the way. Let's authorize the try Composio app. With some issue, I'm not able to click. Yeah, it worked. Access token has been generated. Yeah, I think let's see connections. It should be here. Yeah, looks like, yeah, same F326, the same access token is there. That completes our test. This is what you need to test for all your custom apps that you create.